Welcome to Awards Buzz. I'm Abe Friedtanzer,
I'm Sari Cohen.
And I'm Shadan Larki.
and we are here in our final Emmy nominations and predictions discussion, the drama categories. I would love for us to start with the guest races because I think some of the main contenders for the other categories aren't really nominated here. Mr. and Mrs. Smith did extremely well, getting half of the nominations, which is almost more impressive than some other shows in the past, like Succession, doing this just because these are very episode specific. I'm sort of curious here because I don't really know if there are so many frontrunners. I do think in the guest actress category, the frontrunner is Claire Foy. Not that it should be, because she already won a guest acting prize for a very, very minimal role, and she's already won Best Actress. But how are we feeling about guest actress?
Well, remember when we first started this, I was asking you guys which one of the three main sections you guys thought was like the most difficult to predict. This drama umbrella in general was probably the biggest struggle for me just because I don't know where to go, especially when you're looking at these categories where some of the big contenders, as you mentioned, are not here. I do agree with you, that I Claire Foy just makes the most sense because you have so many people from Mr. and Mrs. Smith here. But I mean, what is it, like 30 a minute of screen time here? Just absurd. And I mean, she did her previous guest actress Emmy win was for 2 minutes of screen time. So like it's happened before. It could very well happen again. But I just it's like that's part the like logical part of my brain is like, well, you have the history, you have the stats, just pick her because that's probably what's gonna happen. But then I'm like, Marcia Gay Harden is right there. Like she's giving a performance. Like it's like, shouldn't that be what's awarded here? But I just feel like they're gonna default to Claire Foy. And no disrespect to Claire Foy because she's phenomenal. I could sit here and talk about her Oscar snubs for a whole other 30 minutes if you would like me to. But in this scenario, I don't get it, but I'm gonna pick her just based on history, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I really I think it's gonna be Claire Foy. I mean, I don't have I mean, who who
I
else?
think Parker Posey and Sarah Paulson have the most substantial roles that they really are. Especially Sarah Paulson is in like her entire episode. Parker Posey is pretty big in it also. I also know Michaela Cole was, she won an Emmy for writing for I May Destroy You. So it's competitive, but I unfortunately think, especially after like other this I don't know. I think this category unfortunately defaults very often to very brief appearances. For guest actor, I'm not sure a little bit because Tracy Letts is somebody who's a show that's not nominated for Best Drama Series, used to be a bigger part of the show, is barely in the episode. Nestor Carbonell is a great choice from Shogun, which we'll talk about very soon, obviously. Um, I think Jonathan Pryce is probably the one to beat here. He is nominated also for The Crown. Not that it matters because Emmy voting will have ended by the time that this is up and by the time that season four premieres, but he's got a bigger role in season four of Slow Horses. But I think that's a show that is really caught on this year with this year, and I think it's a good way to reward him. But I am not confident about that at all. And John Turturro has already won Emmys like for guest starring on Monk. What are we feeling here?
I had a very similar sort of mentality when I was predicting this one. I picked Jonathan Pryce as well just because of the crown and that narrative does play into this one. But if Shogun is going to be a very strong presence here, as we will talk about, and as I'm very much predicting it will be, do you just go along with Nestor as well? And I mean, you want to talk about a man that has shown up in so much television. I mean, he's in the morning show as well. I mean, I think of like Lost, so many other iconic characters and iconic performances. Maybe this is a scenario where people are like, want to award this veteran character actor. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Um, so tough to predict, but I'm gonna go with Jonathan Pryce just because he feels like the name, and I feel like they're gonna go with the name here. Um, Tough.
Yeah,
Well,
I oh go ahead, Abe.
oh, sorry, please.
Oh, no. I totally Jonathan Pryce, I totally picked for my number one as well.
So moving over to the main categories, it seems like we've already indicated that Shogun is our likely front runner. I think, as we've talked about with spoiler alert, Baby Reindeer and the Bear for the other categories, what is the main competition that could take down Shogun in the races that it's up against it in? Crickets.
Well, I
Uh,
think that was what was so interesting about this race before was before Shogun moved to drama and we all thought it was going to be limited. That's why we were like, well, drama is wide open. What's it going to be? I mean, I guess if we're looking at just nomination totals, it would have to be like The Crown or The Morning Show. But neither of those shows feel particularly like they have much momentum. We will talk about there's certain categories where I have both of those shows predicted, but I don't feel strongly. So
yeah, this was a very tough category for me. Like Shogun, I think that is the clear front runner. I do have favorites in here. Like I loved Three Body Problem. I thought Three Body Problem was phenomenal. Is it enough of a competition to take the award? I don't think so. I think also the morning show has lost a little bit of momentum. I don't see that one really ranking very high. You know, the Gilded Age, everybody loves. There's a lot of people that I talk to that seem to really love the Gilded Age. Slow
my
Horse.
favorite show on TV,
Yeah,
period.
yeah, see, that's what I get a lot when I talk to people about that. The Crown also is a favorite, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, that has multiple nominations. Slow Horses, I love. Gary Oldman. I mean, this is like, and you go through everyone. Also, one of my favorite shows this whole season was Fallout. I loved Fallout. I'm so happy to see it here. Um, I would like to see it win. I don't necessarily see it happening. Like it would be a pleasant surprise. I think Shogun, you guys.
Yeah. Let it
Well,
be
yeah.
known that if I was picking on what I wanted to pick, I would pick the Gilded Age. I would be the Emmy voter that's just checking based on, oh, the Gilded Age is nominated here. I'm voting for it. But I don't think that's what's gonna happen.
There are a lot of people that share that. Which,
Yeah.
so this is why I feel like, I mean, we could all sit here and hedge our bets on Shogun because it has earned so many nominations and everybody is really excited about it and it just kind of swept in. But when you really break down all of these shows, it's like each one, but pretty much each one stands on its own. It's gonna have its loyal audience.
I will say that the Gilded Age could have done better. It also last year, her season one was almost completely shut out. Didn't even get a costume nomination, which is crazy. And now no Morgan Spector, no Nathan Lane, no Laura Manty. Like there definitely are ways it could have done better. Similarly, the morning show did very well this year, but has never been nominated for Best Drama Series before, which I personally think season one was the best season. I don't think season three was the best, and so that's worth considering. Three Body Problem was cool. I have it in dead last because it did take a while to get into it, and I think it is super genre-y as opposed to Fallout, which I have in second place because I think it really is very popular and very well done. And I think you have a lot of adaptations of video games and comic strips and other things that don't always do well, and that one did. Slow Horses is off to a good start. That's fine. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, same thing. The Crown, I always go back to the fact that season four dominated and won everything except for guest actor that year. And then season five was almost completely shut out. And so I think season five was better than season six. And so I don't think that season six is gonna win this. It also already won. And so I don't think it like I don't see enough of a reason for Shogun not to win, especially when you have something like Parasite winning. And also, honestly, Shogun versus Squid Game, like Shogun, Squid Game, like there is a clear difference in terms of quality of the show,
Yeah.
not just the popularity. And so I think that's an important thing. And that if people can get past the subtitles, which it is it's a lot. It's an hour of almost entirely subtitles every episode, but it is very rewarding and very well done and takes a lot like the set pieces of Fallout and the writing of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, like really combines a lot of stuff to be, I mean, Mr. and Mrs. Smith and Shogun are nothing like, but you know what I'm saying. I'm getting far away from my point, but I think we'll find a great opportunity to move on to supporting actress, which while Shogun should have been represented with a few of its supporting actresses, they are not here. I think this is a Handmaid's Tale season 2 situation where they have too many nominees. The morning show has too many nominees, and it's going to go to someone else. And I think that someone is Elizabeth Debicki because she has not won yet. She is really terrific. And even though you wouldn't know she was in the show if you only watched the last half of it, I think this is her. But Leslie Manville is also very good, but I don't know. What are we thinking?
I agree. I think Elizabeth, I think this is her award. Christine Baranski, I love as well, and Greta Lee is up there for me. But on my gut, if we're talking about like the likelihood of who's going to take it, I think it's Elizabeth. Yeah.
I am struggling with The Crown this year for all the reasons you mentioned, Abe. I feel like the moment for that show has come and gone. And I have it predicted in a few other categories. We'll get to that. I feel the strongest about Elizabeth because, as you mentioned, there's actresses from other shows splitting votes here. And I think Elizabeth very much stands out on her own aside from the show, just because she's an actress that has worked with so many very well respected filmmakers. I mean, she won the Golden Globe for this. So she has a sort of pedigree outside of The Crown, and I think what she brings to Princess Diana is really just again nuanced, layered. There's like it's not just, oh, she's playing Princess Diana, so we're giving her an award. I think there's like a performance and there's an artistry to what she was able to accomplish. So I think regardless of whatever narratives are happening around The Crown, I just think she's strong enough, and she has, like, again, with her, like, with respect to the other nominees, I just think she's gonna pull through here. Yeah.
Yep. I think, yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. I think supporting actor I'm less confident on because I think if we had Khalid Abdallah and Salman Dow from The Crown, who played Diana's partner and his father, I think they would have been a little bit stronger than Jonathan Pryce because I was surprised that Tobias Menzies won in season 4, as I said, especially 'cause I think he should have won for season 3, which he wasn't even nominated for. But I don't think Jonathan Pryce is as prominently featured as he could be. But I don't really know where that leaves us because Billy Crudup, he won for season 1, which was really, really good. And this is still good, but it's not quite the same. I still have him in number 1, but I have Jack Lowden for Slow Horses in second place because he's doing a lot. And he is like, that is a very physical performance. And he's got a lot going on there. And I think that could be a good way to reward that show. Um,
See,
what
and
are we thinking?
that one feels like, to me, that would be my sentimental win because, like I said, I'm such a big fan of that show in particular, and I love Jack and Gary together. Like, I love their dynamic on the show. Um, I would like to see him win. I do think like this might be, and you've got two actors from Shogun in here though. And I think that's just going to be one of those shows that, is gonna end up sweeping. So I think this could be a category that it's up for grabs.
What were you predicting there?
Yeah.
Um, can I go with my sentimental win? Because I'd like to say Jack.
Always ill-advised, but encouraged.
I mean, I'd like to. I'm rooting for him. That's the one I would like to see win. I would hope that he's not that I hope that he's strong enough to beat out
That's
Shogun, but
Jack Lowden, right?
yeah, Jack Lowden. Yeah, I'm Slow Horses. I feel like it should deserve more love than it gets.
Yeah, this category is probably oh man, what a strange category, because you have multiple actors from multiple shows splitting votes, and I just don't think Jonathan Pryce, I mean, I predicted him in guest actor, so I think if it's, I don't know if voters think that way, but you could be like, well, I'm giving it to him here. Why would I give it? And he's just not much of a presence in season 6. Like, he has one nice moment with Prince William that I liked, but he doesn't really do much beyond that. So I picked Billy Crudup because I think he's an actor that people really respect. We've seen him win multiple awards for the morning show. He is the standout part of the morning show to me personally. I think his character is really interesting and does really interesting things and is like difficult to predict. And he's not really a villain, not really a hero, really complex character that he's sort of working through. And clearly they love actors from the morning show. So I feel like they're gonna want to award one, and they've awarded Billy Crudup in the past, so why wouldn't they do it again? And I mean, we've seen this like with other shows where they'll sort of have like the one actor, kind of like Peter Dinklage in like Game of Thrones, where we're like, you're just gonna be our representative from the show that we keep awarding. So I feel like Billy Crudup could be that for the morning show. So like he just seems the strongest to me, but I say that with zero confidence. But
I would
that's
always like to
the
make all
logic
the
that I went
predictions.
with. And I really
Zero
did,
confidence.
yeah, I really did think about it a lot, and I just feel like he just seems like logically he makes the most sense.
So I think we'll save Best Actress for last because actually all three overarching categories, Best Actress seems to be the most competitive. Best Actor, I see the case for Walton Goggins, who was terrific and who was never nominated for The Shield, who was nominated for Justified. I see the case for Gary Oldman, even though he is so curmudgeonly, it's hard to really get behind him in some ways. But I think this is Hiroyuki Sanada, especially if you think episode submissions matter. He submitted the 8th episode, which is a very like it's just a very strong performance for him. So do we feel that there's anybody else who would overtake him, or is he in the lead here?
I definitely think Hiroyuki Sanada is going to walk away with the win for this, for sure.
I absolutely agree. And as I mentioned, with Nestor Carbonell, Mr. Sonata is also one of those actors that has been in so many things, so many of your favorite projects he has been in, whether you realize it or not. And it feels like this is a moment to award one of the most prolific and talented actors in the business. And yeah, I think as soon as I saw that Shogun had switched to drama, I just knew that he was going to go along for that ride. And it just makes sense that they would pair actor and drama like that to me. And it would be a very deserving win. Very much so.
Agreed.
Also for best act sorry, do you want to say something, Sarah?
Oh, no, I just said agreed.
Echoing. Okay. So best actress, I am struck by the statistic because I love statistics and they always work until they don't. The Crown has awarded its previous two Queen Elizabeths Best Actress for the second season they've been in, with them not winning for the first. The reason to doubt that this time is Imelda Staunton, who I first saw in Vera Drake when I was 16. I went to go see my grandparents, and I went to go see that by myself in a Florida movie theater because I was like, I want to see this abortionist drama in the 50s. It'll be great, which it was. She wasn't nominated last year for season 5, and she wasn't really in a lot of season 6. I know it's the finale that she submitted, but if you think about season 6, you're thinking about William, you're thinking about Diana. Margaret even has almost a stronger showcase than she does. And so I think she's a phenomenal actress, but unless people are so devoted to, oh yeah, we have to vote for the crown every couple of years, I don't know that she's going to win. Do you think that she could, or that someone else who's not in Shogun could?
Well, I had the same sort of like mental checklist that I went through of like, well, the actors love the crown. They love to give their queens their Emmys in the second season. But as we keep mentioning, I just feel like the momentum for the crown is gone. No one's talking about it. Season 6 wasn't as well regarded. I mean, would it surprise me at all if she won? No. I mean, that it makes there's a universe where that makes complete sense because as you mentioned, she's such a well-respected actress. So even if you're not necessarily voting entirely on the crown, you could be voting for this actress that you've just loved for years and years and years, and all that residual love comes through for her. So I wouldn't be surprised, but she just is not as strong as the Olivia Colmans and Claire Foys. And so I'm not predicting her in
And
the
do
end.
Olivia also beat out her Diana from that season, which I think a lot of people were predicting. That was a pretty big surprise for me.
Do we think Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston stand any chances here?
No, I think they cancel each other out because in the past they were each nominated. I also think that they were not the best part by any stretch. We should look at supporting actress, or as you said, Billy, for this season. I don't think that I think season one, Jennifer was terrific. I think season two, Reese was terrific. And I think this season was not really about them. I almost feel the same way about Jennifer Aniston as I do about Melissa Staunton, that like, was she even in the season? And yes, she was, but I feel like it's not the same star turn leading role as season one.
Yes, yeah. I feel like it's kind of like a Martin Short, Steve Martin kind of situation. But yeah, I think Anna's gonna win for Shogun. I think
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching it, she is just incredible. She's in so much of it. And then like her submission, which is the ninth episode, the second to last episode of the season, is a powerhouse. And she is so good. And I think that she is really what makes that show work. Um, and yeah, I see that. So, and you also think that, are you going with her, Shadan?
Yeah, I am. I think she just has an it factor. She's just luminous. She, like, when she wasn't on screen, I was kind of waiting for her to come back. And again, I think as soon as I saw that it was gonna be in drama, I was like, I just think she's gonna be it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think we together have Shogun for series, actor, actress, directing, writing, and we have less enthusiasm about the other categories and certainty. But we'll see how things turn out. If you're following or subscribing to Awards Buzz on YouTube, you can catch interviews with a ton of contenders, including Hiroyuki Sanada, Anna Sawai, Tadanobu Asano, Karen Pittman, Marcia Gay Harden, Nicole Bahari, Holland Taylor, lots of great, great people. And just because the Emmys are around the corner doesn't mean there won't be more content here at Awards Buzz. So stay tuned and enjoy the show.